focus. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you, look to find your way, babe. Yeah, take a look around you, look to find your way, babe. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Hey, you the one that say that. You and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice payday. You don't wanna say that. You don't want this payback. I keep my composure. This my kingdom, nigga. Stay back. We had a couple of moments. You had a choice, nigga, on it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga, I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, Dubai with it. New sound, just vibe with it. Same truth and we die with it. I see it like it's an optical. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music of means to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All the young niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think with your head, stop looking at trends. You wearing your eyes like it's topical. Clearly now, the pain is gone, the fame is on, and they play my song. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. New era, I got y'all. Real gang, we pop off, no knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out, don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines when you find out. And getting real near. If you don't know, you behind now. Behind the times, government hide behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside, don't socialize. Yeah, talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your way. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe.
Yeah. Never dispose of the pen, I'm at it again, we close to the end. The older I get, emphatic I am. They try to pretend, they try to be friend, wreak havoc instead. Look at the trends, can't comprehend my dramatic ascent. I'm heavenly sent, they try to condemn. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the man. Yeah, different vision but the same goes. Big collision off the main road, that's the beaten path where my brain goes. Fuck the devil's wrath off my halo. Hella stones, no Thanos. Hella gold, no rainbow. This is hella genius in my brain lobes. Hella gross as far as revenue goes. Bought me a net for these Benjamins though. You not a threat, you an enemy though. Broke me a sweat, killing enemies slow. Body offset, all these feminine flows. Hardly upset, but you testing me though. All of these stats are depressingly low. Why your girl think I'm a specimen though? Drones and them perks is my medicine though. There's no comparison, black in America, little too arrogant. I just embarrass y'all, niggas irrelevant. I shouldn't mention it, that's royal etiquette. Out of my element, way too intelligent. Grab you a therapist, send in my sentiments. Neck full of sediments, cop me a Tesla and skirt through the valley. Drop the investment in Silicon Valley. All this cake, but I'm missing the patty. Might mess around and just move to Miami. Drums are so loud that they breaking the chassis. King of the grass like I'm Lionel Messi. I am not crass, but my mental is messy. Mud in my glass while my pencil is sketching. All these rappers, but no one impressed me. Most of them actors at labels is testing.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Go to the fucking gym.
Swole, Norman.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
What's going on, Beaches, Booshes, Busters, Hustlers, and Yo-Hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Eversync K2, flexing on all you Beaches. Welcome to the show. 3605, hit the like button, subscribe. We are going to jump right into today's episode. We are well into Merch Madness, so make sure you go on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure you vote in the stories, and we will have some more updates probably tomorrow or the next day as we are wrapping up Merch Madness. Some of your brackets are doing great. Some of them are being blasted to shit, but have no fear. We will have a winner, and we're going to crown that, and we'll announce it on Monday. Very excited for that. So let's get into the first merch review of the day. We got this great one from the merch site. Christopher says, they fit and feel great. Katie was a big help to fix a mistake I made. And Christopher is leaving a review on Swollen to Let It Grow. Nice choice. Well done. That's a good choice. Today I'm rocking Deadlift. That's a great shirt. That's one, I think it's still in the running. I think Deadlift is still alive in Merch Madness. I think it's still hanging on. So let's get into that tip, fam. Are you ready?
Just an inch.
Ooh, yeah.
It's cold outside.
All right, we're kicking it off with a little afternoon snack from Terrence, smoked salmon on sourdough toast. Nice. Enjoy that. We have this from Bear. Loved this after leg day. Really relaxed my legs. And this is on inner thighs and hip openers, number 4. Go and check that out. Remember, if you want to find these classes directly inside the app, make sure you just use the search feature and you can type in inner thighs, and this one and other ones that will target the same body region in the title and description, of course, will show up. So very nice class, very nice tutorial. Go and check that out inside the Swolenormous app. And we got a couple email responses. Did you give up on your resolutions? Amber says, I have only missed 5 days of the gym since January 12th, and that was due to weather. Very nice. Good. Consistency is good. Robert says, you'd be happy. I go to the fucking gym regularly. Results are progressing. More weight is more weight. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Glad to hear that you're staying on it. Fuck your resolutions, man. Who cares about resolutions? Get after it, because today is the day to get after it. Now let's get into some Rate My Meal. All right. We'll take some questions when we get into the knowledge cock. So if you have questions, generate them. Anything you want to ask, anything you want to talk about, drop them in the comments. We'll get to them in a couple slides after we go through some Rate My Meal. Let's see what we got here today, fam. First meal of the day from Dwayne Covington. Salad with diced cubed ham, little pepperonis, cracked pepper ranch, 3 cheese Mexican blend, and bacon bits. That's a no for me, dog. I'm not a fan of the ultra-processed salads and salted cured meats. Dwayne, I know you're trying... This looks like something where it's kind of like you're trying to eat healthy, but you're also... It's a very dated type meal, right? You're eating just eating a loose... A few fucking leaves and some ultra-processed cheese and meat. Let's get you a meal. Let's get you a meal. Forget the salads. Let's get you some chicken. Let's get you some ground beef. Get you some steak, get you some fish. Let's get a meal. Let's get a meal. Let's get some meat. Let's get some carbs. Let's get a fucking meal. You're a man, you need to build muscle. Ain't gonna do it with that. So let's tighten that ship up, shall we? You can do it. Dustin can go fuck himself. That's a shit pizza with garbage cookies. This guy's speed running cancer and diabetes. Jason Lewis, we got some questionable steak. And the reason why I'll say that is because it looks yellow. Did you just wipe some leftover mustard? This looks like you took the mustard container from your fridge and there was only a little bit left on the top and the sides, and you just kind of smeared whatever was left onto this steak. So aside from the weird mustard streaks on it, I'll just pretend that's the coloring of my picture. So I don't know. And we got eggs. So steak and eggs, no worries here. I'm just concerned a little bit about the whatever the hell's on that steak. I'm assuming it's mustard. Jay Dutson, we got some basson, but let's be honest, we know that ain't real bacon, son. I know turkey bacon when I see it. That's faking. That's fake bacon. That's bacon adjacent. That ain't no real bacon, dog. That ain't no real bacon, son. But we got some waffles with who knows what the fuck on it. Eggos, I don't know. Let's get some eggs there. I'm assuming you ate the eggs. So let's get rid of the ultra processed waffles and stuff. Let's get some real bacon. Let's get some real eggs. I don't know what that thing is. Zoa? Tropical punch? I can only imagine. Jay has some tightening up to do on that one. Let's tighten that shit up. Marco Hidalgo. We got some shrimp and other stuff. So noodles, whatever. Fam, I really encourage all of you to eat more simply. Get your protein, enough with all the sauces and the coverings. This is what fucks people up. It's tons of extra sugar. It's tons of stabilizers, preservatives. It's filled with either even artificial sweeteners. The sauces and the toppings, and even when it comes down to the noodles, the wheat, the grains, and the places that you're sourcing these things from is everything. So I'm assuming that most people aren't crossing their T's and dotting their I's when it comes to the ingredients on these things. So when I see sauce and I see pasta, I'm assuming this is just the generic stuff. It's not imported. It has all the glyphosate, atrazine. It has all the wheat germ agglutinin. It has all the United States regulations, which is lacking tremendously. So you got to be very careful where you source things like pasta or what they're made up of. If you haven't done an elimination diet, I encourage you to do it, and your body will notice the difference, I promise you. So shrimp, a lot of shrimp lately. I'm not against shrimp. It's just something that's in addition to. It's not a meal in itself, in my opinion. All right, Trent Gable. Let's see. Steak, potatoes, based. Except, you get a Matt Damon, Trent.
Matt Damon.
LinkedIn, Trent. Get yourself a real plate. Stop with the paper plates. Remember, it's not paper. It's wax. It's coated. If it was paper, your food would just soak right through. It would literally be like a piece of paper. This is all coated. It's garbage. It's gross. Why are people eating on, because I throw out everything. It's so hard to wash something. Like, seriously, enough with the fucking fake plates. Paper plates. What the fuck is this? Get a plate. You wash it. You can reuse it. And you're not eating fucking wax. You're eating the plate. You know that, right? It's getting onto your food. You're not eating that cold. That's hot. You're just eating fucking wax. And it's like dollar store wax. It's shit quality plate. All right. Come on now. We could do better. We could do better, right? That's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to do better. We're trying to do better. So rate my meal. Sure. If you're making a home cooked meal, that's a point. You get a little pat on the back. You're making your own food, but maybe you're making your own food with shit ingredients. Now it's time to increase the quality of those ingredients. And then the food you make at home will be better off. Know what I'm saying? Nah mean? Nah mean, dog? Nah mean? Aight? All right, let's take some questions. Jacob Hull, official on Instagram. Best way to build muscle as a fighter. Same way you build muscle as a person wanting to build muscle. Progressive overload, proper recovery, and proper program design. So you're going to have to adjust this. Whatever your priority is, if you're fighting, MMA, stuff like that, using a lot of calories, a lot of energy, muscle fatigue, central nervous system fatigue, you have to work a program around that so you're not burning the candle at both ends. You don't want to add a lot of weight training and then you're not getting the most at your weight training. It's negatively affecting your fighting if that's your goal. So make sure you prioritize. You got to lift weights. I'm going to call you. I don't know that name. Does anyone read that? I can't read that shit. I don't know what the fuck that is. But anyway, how to lose belly weight. Eat less calories. I feel like I'm losing all sides except that part. Well, cortisol, stress, program design, recovery, time, patience. You know, you can't spot reduce fat. So you have to build more muscle and improve your hormones, get more exercise, metabolize more fat, and it just takes time. So vague questions, vague name. I'm sure it's specific if you can read that. Cuckoo nariz. Papa Swolio, does rowing 6 times a week count as going to the gym, or do I have to go to a gym separately? So I get these questions just because people don't want to scratch below the surface, and I get it. It's like, well, it's not technically the gym. Look, the gym is where you train. Gym at home, gym anywhere. Does rowing count as going to the gym? It's exercise. It's physical activity. It's just one thing. So you're asking me like, hey, does doing squats count as going to the gym? Yeah, I guess. I mean, it does, but just let's say like only squats. Just picture that. Only squats. You're only doing squats. Yeah, you'll build muscle in your legs. Obviously, you'll build some muscle in the upper body because you're holding the weight on the bar and testosterone and all that stuff. But if I said, hey, I squat if I squat 6 times a week, does that count as going to the gym? You would say, yeah. I mean, if you're going to a gym to do squats, or you're going to your home gym and doing squats, but you'd also say, why are you only doing squats? So it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. Hey, I did curls today. I do bicep curls 6 times a week. Does that count as going to the gym? Yes and no, because you're only doing one thing. So yes, rowing works, and it's cardiovascular system, and it's working your back, and you're pulling, and okay, you might build some muscle if you've never done it before, but then that's going to be minimal and it's going to flatline pretty quick. So I mean, rowing counts as rowing. Going to the gym means training. So rowing is a part of whatever else you're doing. If you're rowing 6 times a week, how much muscle do you think you're going to build? Not as much as if you don't row 6 times a week. So this goes back to, does cardio kill gains? It does if you are prioritizing cardio. Like yesterday, you guys were saying, and Cerny was mentioning, hey, Papa Soul, your chest is looking bigger. Guess what? I do, and I talked about the exercise I've been doing lately, but I do chest first in my workout. If I'm doing a push day or an upper day, I'm usually starting off the first 1 or 2 exercises is going to be something with flies or a push. So I prioritize certain body parts, and yes, it's going to make sense that those body parts will start to look bigger. And hey, this muscle's gotten bigger. Hey, you look bigger here because I've been prioritizing that. So if I'm doing chest, I'm doing it first in a workout. I'll bias and I'll prioritize the body parts that I want to get the most attention and the most recovered training. It's just like that. So if you're prioritizing rowing, then guess what? You're lifting. If you're rowing 6 times a week, you're going to have to do it before or after your training. And then you're going to have cumulative fatigue. So let's say you train first and you row later in the day. Okay. Then when you train the next morning, you lifted yesterday and then you rowed at night. Just saying, the next morning, your lifting is going to be negatively affected from your rowing at night and the lifting the day before. When I say affected, I'm not saying you're not going to have a good workout. I'm not saying it's a bad decision. I'm just saying it's going to be affected because you trained twice the day before. And then the next day, you can imagine day 3, you did rowing and lifting, and then rowing and then lifting. It's going to catch up to you really quick. And the only way you're going to be able to handle that is if you're not going with a high intensity and if you're not really doing your max or the proper training for either or. So if you're rowing 6 times a week, I'm going to ask you what your fucking goal is, because if you're going to try to build muscle, you shouldn't be rowing 6 times a week. If rowing is your thing, then yes, you should be lifting weights and doing other body parts because you're getting a lot of movement impairments by doing that repetitive movement over and over again. You need to balance it out. You should be doing yoga and mobility and strength training. But at the same time, for rowing, you don't want to be huge and massive and bulky, because if you're rowing crew, you don't want to be super, super heavy, because then that's more weight it negatively affects the ability for, the skiff or whatever the fuck you call it, the boat, the canoe, the rowboat, I don't know what the actual term for it is, but it's going to be, more weight. It's going to be heavier in the water. So it depends on why you're rowing 6 times a week. If you're just doing compulsive cardio, then you got to figure out what your goals are. Rowing is cardio. It's absolutely cardio. It's absolutely cardio. So today I'm doing either upper, I'm probably going to do a push day. I've been doing like push, pull legs and then upper, lower or torso limbs. I kind of go back and forth depending on how, whatever my schedule is. But today we took the dogs out. I did some cardio earlier. I did my Versa climber, but I did like 4 rounds I do like 20-second sprint. And then I do like a minute or more, like really slow where I get off and move around a little bit. So I'll do like 5 minutes of cardio. I don't want to say 5 minutes, but I'll do intervals. So I'll do 3 to 5 rounds of like full out sprint, then a minute or 2 or a minute and a half, low intensity, and then all out for 20 seconds, and then low, and then all out. So I'll do like a couple interval sprints, and then I go into the sauna. I really like doing that little sprint of cardio before the sauna. I'll do that a couple times a week. But it's not going, I wouldn't say it's not going to the gym, but it's very important for me for cardiovascular benefits. I think it's really good. I think you should be training in higher zones. And I think it's very valuable doing nice low intensity walking, but also getting your heart rate up. Sauna is fantastic, like I just mentioned, but you also have to understand your priorities. So if I prioritize the cardiovascular training, it's going to negatively affect my lifting. So I need to do enough cardio, or in that sense, the intervals, because if I did 3 or 4 rounds, I did like a minute or 2 minutes all out sprint. So I did like a minute or 2 of all out sprinting, got my heart rate up, went to the sauna, but it's not going to be enough to like blast my workout that I'm going to do after the show. I'm training in the afternoon today because it was really hot earlier, and that was just the flow for today. Sometimes I train before the show, sometimes I train after the show, but bottom line, I don't want that to negatively affect my training. So I add little bits here and there, and I move it around, seeing what works best for me. And if my lifts are progressing, if I feel good, everything's moving forward, I'll keep it, or I'll change it, or I'll increase it, and then gauge from that. 6 days a week of rowing. And if you're talking about rowing like hard, you really don't have a lot of, like, that's 6 days of intense training, in my opinion. If you're talking about rowing, you're rowing. So it's fatigue. And it's going to be really hard for your body to be receptive to additional stimulus and recovery on top of that. So you got to figure out what your priority is. Think about that. If you want to be good at rock climbing and mountain climbing, you better be going rock climbing and mountain climbing a lot. That's how you get better at it. Or you're doing bouldering, or you're training for it, or you're going to those rock climbing centers and you're practicing moves. When you obsess about something and you focus on it, you're going to get better. People say, hey, I like to go rock climbing, and then I want to lift heavy weights. Well, do you see any pro bodybuilders doing rock climbing? Generally not. And the reason why is because if you like bodybuilding, then if you really want to do good with bodybuilding and weight training, that's your priority. It's very rare when someone's like, I want to get big, but I also like hanging on the side of cliffs. They don't really go well together. Can you do both? Can you put on a harness and go to one of those fun play centers and climb the wall? Sure, it's fun. It's a gimmick. But you're not going to excel at either one because they're just really conflicting. The same reason why you don't see marathon runners that love to be pro bodybuilders. They get up on the stage and they're jacked, and then they go and they run for 3 hours. You got to pick what you like to do, or you got to shift through different phases. And then, so it has to be based on your interest, but you just can't do it all, right? You can't do it all. And some people try to do it all, and you'll see people that like, I lift weights and I run, but if you do a lot of cardio, you look like you do a lot of cardio. Okay. Anyone that has muscle and lifts heavy weights and does a lot of running, they look like they're a runner. They don't look jacked. They just look like they're a runner. Like your body will bias towards that lean, slender, running. You kind of tap out with your muscle growth. You really do. So it really depends on what your priority is. So it goes back to the jack of all trades, master of none. I'm not saying you can't be reasonably proficient at running and lifting. A lot of people do both of those things, but a lot of times when you start doing that, because it's really hard to toe the line between fatigue and injury and endurance training and heavy strength training with the tendons and ligaments, people just get injured all the time. And most of the times when you see people that do this, I'm a hybrid athlete, they don't talk about all their injuries all the time. They're always with tendonitis and fucking issues. There's always fucking problems. Trust me. I know I did it. It's really hard. Maybe if you're like even the elite of the elite. And the thing is, when you're doing that kind of stuff, if you're doing running and you're doing those kinds of competitions, there's a whole different animal for training for life and for health. And I go running and I do cardio and I lift weights versus I compete and I do triathlons and I do running. Because when you're competing at that level or you're putting yourself out there and you're pushing it that hard, you're going to get hurt no matter what you do. right? Pro bodybuilders get hurt because they cramp on stage or they tear something because they dieted too hard. They took too much of one compound and they trained too hard close to a competition, or someone that's doing triathlons didn't downshift and didn't, deload properly before, and they didn't place, people are always pushing it to their limit, and it's really hard to find that sweet spot. Hit the like button, fam. Hit the like button. Riley says, I don't think you should rely on one thing in your training. Weight training is different than cardiovascular exercise, and weight training is priority to cardio. From everything that I've seen, thousands of clients, doing it myself, just seeing what people do, it's much easier and much better for you to focus on building muscle and then adding in the cardio after than doing tons of cardio first and then trying to build muscle. It's not hard to get cardiovascular back up. You just go for more walks, you adjust your training protocols, like really finding that sweet spot with your weight training and then adding in and then kind of upping the cardio slowly over time. It's just a much better way to do it. Bias the strength training, add in the cardio. And I'm not saying don't go for walks. You can walk all day long if you want. It utilizes more energy. Just keep that in mind. You're going for intense hikes, that's walking, but inclines and all other sorts of work. So it really comes down to like the fatigue too. Because like I said, the fatigue matters. If you're exhausted because you went walking 10 miles yesterday, it's going to be hard for you to crush a leg day today. Even if you just walked, you're like, oh, I walked so far yesterday. Remember we walked around the park 10 times. We had a great conversation, but my legs are tired. Well, I have a blister on my foot. Well, that's going to negatively affect whether you have the energy, whether you just don't feel like moving a lot today. If you overdo it, even other body parts, you're wearing yourself down. Fam, hashtag SwoleAF. Drop that in the comments for a chance to win today's Swole card. Aww. We got the puppers in tow. Let's continue. We got some questions from Rumble. Let's see, Sterling. The other day you mentioned in a reply, is this it? Changing your programming and exercises can be beneficial. Is that just to have variation, or is that about changing the stimulus? Didn't understand. Well, I don't remember what the other day. I don't remember what happened yesterday, let alone the other day. But yes, changing your programming and exercises can be beneficial, but it really depends on why you're doing it. Variation isn't required for variation in itself. So a lot of times people change things because mentally, hey, I feel like I want to do something else. I've been doing this one I did this one last time, so let me do something different today. That's not how you should be training. You can have 2 or 3 different workouts for upper body or for chest or for legs that you cycle through. So if you train legs twice a week, you could have A, B, and C, and then just do A, B. And the next week you do C, A, and then you do B, C, and then you do A, B, and just rotate through 3 different types of splits. So that's totally fine too. So there's nothing wrong with variation. What matters is variation for variation's sake. If you just want to feel like, hey, I want to do something different, that's a novel stimulus. That's going to cause a different type of damage. That's going to cause a different type of overload. That's going to be a different type of stress that you have to factor in, and it's going to be more fatiguing than doing the same thing that you did last time or the session before. So people change things too much. And that's one of the issues with that really kind of got into people's heads. I don't want to say it's a bad thing, but that's one of the downsides to P90X. And I work closely with P90X and Tony Horton and stuff like that. You guys know back in the day. One of the problems with that program is the concept that got really popular, the muscle confusion. That's really, that became like a phrase that people used in order to justify things like CrossFit and doing random programming. So muscle confusion is not a thing. Your muscles don't get confused. They react and they adapt to what stress you're putting it under. So if you're doing confusing shit, AKA random stuff every time you train, and it's different all the time, yeah, you're going to be sore. Yeah, you're going to be fatigued, but that's the whole point, right? You're sore and you're fatigued. We know about being sore and fatigue and, oh, it's a new shit. I have to, oh my God, I'm stretch and I'm so fucking sore. Yeah, that negatively affects your body to adapt to that and excel. And by the time you change it again, then the new stimulus you just provided it last workout is different again. So it has to react in different. It's not growing from that. It's just getting punched. It doesn't have the ability to adapt to it and get better with those movements, get more proficient. So you don't want to change. You don't want variety for the sake of variety. You want variety because it's time to hit the muscle from a different angle, because you want to bring something up, or you want to train it from a shortened position rather than lengthened because you've been getting too sore, or because you want to add in a different exercise, or you do want to mix it up. You've been doing this for a little bit. You kind of plateaued for a while and you want to change an exercise and swap something out. That's totally fine. but you just don't want to swap it out all the time because then you have nothing to adapt to. So you need to stick with things for several weeks or even months. And when you find something that works, trust me, when you're doing things consistently enough, and you guys know this, you'll see your strength going up and you'll be training hard. And you almost, when you hit that sweet spot, you almost feel like you're not training. You feel like you're not training hard enough. So this is where you're going to get to. You're going to feel like you're not training hard enough. You'll see the numbers going up and you feel good, but you don't feel the soreness. You don't feel that kind of fatigue because your body has adapted to those movements. Your body has gained mastery with that kind of execution. So you don't feel that kind of shock. Oh my God, it's all new. You don't feel that kind of soreness from the stretch or for the tension. Your body has adapted to it. And that's when you're really making progress because you can send it as hard as you can. And your body, you don't have that like, oh, it's a new exercise. We'll just call it the new exercise soreness. Oh, I haven't done that before. And all of a sudden you move your arm back and fuck your chest. But if you do that exercise all the time, yeah, you don't have that kind of, your muscle spindles and you don't have that stretch soreness that you get from new exercises or when you first did it. So that's the sweet spot. And the problem is a lot of times when people stop feeling sore and they start seeing that progress and they feel good, they change it to something else so they could feel beat up again. And that's the last time that's not when you want to change. So people change things right when they're about to start that pathway to making progress and they change it all the time. It doesn't mean you won't make progress. It's just going to limit your progress because you keep on changing the variables all the time. It's like doing an elimination diet, but changing your meals every day. So if you're eating different things every day, how do you know which food is working better? You don't. That's why you got to be consistent with it. Otherwise, you don't know what's working and what's not. Mike Thriller Miller. As your training has progressed over the years, have you ever looked back at the older programs and think, what was I thinking with that routine? Or do you still think they hold up? Oh, have I looked back and like overlooked all the programs? No, I don't really go back and look at all the programming. It still holds up. The human body, you think the human body has evolved differently in like 10 years or 5 years? If the program worked then, it works now. It doesn't mean that's why we have more programs. We have different programs because the thing is with programs is that not every program is for every person. So you might look at a program and be like, oh, that's ridiculous. Like, I'll look at a program, 90-day dash. I wouldn't make the 90-day dash today. Why? Just because I've already done it for one thing, but it would come out a little bit differently, I guess. You could always swap out exercise, but the whole program is about the framework and about the approach to it, not so much the exercises in themselves. So a lot of times those are for people with limited equipment, right? You have Swole Mastery, you have Scorched Earth, and it's like specific types of programming. And not everything is about just building muscle, period, end of story. We have a lot of different programs for different needs, but most people gravitate towards the same programs. Most people gravitate towards Swole Season and Maximum Swole afterwards, because in general, most people need and want to build muscle. So those are the best programs to do it. Same reason why some people have programs for golf. It's like very specific programs or specific needs. So even P90X, right? Even P90X holds up. It holds up, but I mean, there's still some movements or some program that you might tweak a little bit, but they still work, right? A lot of these programs or many or even most programs will work. The question is, are they ideal for you? And to what extent do they work? And are there certain tweaks that you can do to make it better that'll make it work even more efficiently? And those are all possibilities too. So yeah, there's always exercise, or I look back, I'm like, oh, I remember, you know what it usually is when it comes to any of like the programming that we've done already. A lot of that is looking back and being like, oh my God, I remember that. Or I would have changed the camera angle, or like, oh, that was back when, oh, I remember that camera. Cause I look at it because I remember filming it. I remember like, oh, I remember that tripod, or I remember that angle. Oh, I forgot I filmed it with that camera. I wouldn't film with that camera now because I have this camera. Like you learn more about the technical things, or, hey, when I filmed that, I would have liked to have, And I'll be honest too. I also try not to over obsess with that because, one of the tendencies is that things look old, because 90-day dash, I filmed that in 2016 and 2017. But then again, I could say the same thing about something that I filmed in 2021. It's like, that's 5 years old, and something I filmed today in 5 years can be 5 years old. So it's like, it's an endless battle. If I just go back and redo and fix and refilm, it's just, everything's going to be old in a year or two anyway. So it doesn't matter. Everything gets old. So I try not to, as someone who's creating all this and, all this content that's up there. I don't beat myself up or I don't overthink stuff that's in there just because it's archive. It's just in there and it's in there forever. And I try to put things in there that don't become dated, but that's why most of them are just objectively for the human body. And that's why we educate what you need to use and which directions will be good if you have different goals. Then we add things to fill in the gaps and to make things more specific for people that need, and then supplementary programs and shoulder awareness and glute awareness. And we have Maximum Swole, and we add new workouts and master classes to kind of educate people based on what they need now that, you know, you've been members for 5 years and you've done these programs for a while. Well, here's how do you take it to the next level type thing. So I try not to over obsess or stress out about things I filmed in the past, just because it'll drive you insane. You know, it'll drive me insane. Just like looking like, oh my God, I filmed that. Man, look at that beard. Sometimes I look at this, I'm like, shit. You know, when my beard was like fucking ZZ Top, when I didn't really trim it well and I just like fucking had it just like crazy. I'm like, man, I was wearing sunglasses and I had like a crazy ass beard. I'm like, geez, I wouldn't film like that today. You know, I would clean that shit up, dude. But I filmed it and that's what I did then. So it's like, leave it. But more masterclass. We got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff coming. Anyway, good questions. You want to follow up? Yeah, it's the evolution. It's just things in the past. You know, you look through any history book, things always look old and dated after a while, but they work then, they'll work now. We just have additional things and more options. Sally Wilkin, female, age 60 and 2 months, trains 4 times a week. 1 to 1 times 3. 1 to 1 times 3. I don't know what that means. With excellent PT plus 1. All right, we trains 4 times a week. 1 to 1 times 3. Like, okay. 1 small group session, normally working in team conditioning. I call it PT killer session. Trying to lose the postmenopausal belly fat, trying to eat properly, trying on weight loss jabs as recommended from diabetic team. Oh, awesome. So appetite fluctuates, recommendations for macros daily target. Sweet Jesus. Again, these questions, it's like hey, I'm taking all this fucking sludge. What are your diet? You're telling me that the problem is your nutrition. I think it's everything. Anyway, protein, fats, carbs to build more muscle, keep me going for the next 25, 30 years. Yeah, what are the recommendations for your daily macro target to keep me going for the next 30 years? Yeah, let me just give you a 30-year diet. To stave off broken bones from falls, etc. Keep the second heart attack away. First one at age 54. Jesus. Don't take experimental gene therapy and boosters and injections. Sketched out about those weight loss jabs, which definitely cannibalize muscle. I be very mindful of those exhaustive small group PT, cardio circuit type things, heavy weight training, walking, proper nutrition, trying to lose weight. Of course, everyone's trying to eat properly. There's no trying. There's eating well and there's not. There's a lot here. There's a lot of stuff here. So I'm not giving you medical advice because you had a heart attack. Like, it just sounds like there's a lot of things. Diet's not going to do it. When I say that, I don't mean like, hey, eat this much protein and this many carbs and this many fat. That's not going to solve your problem. That's not going to solve your problem. I need details. I need to know what you're eating because you're probably eating shit. Sorry. 4 times a week, you need weights. I don't care about small group. Most of that is just gimmick, lightweight, circuit, cardio type. You need weights. Diabetic team. You're a diabetic. So there's a lot there too. So you're trying to eat healthy. Why is there a try when you're a diet, like when you're a diabetic? Let's get you on the right. So no, there's no recommendations for macros to keep you going for the next 25, 30 years. Okay. Stave off broken bones. You need red meat, heavy weights, bone broth, collagen, proper sleep, heavy resistance training, and meat. You do need that so you don't have osteoporosis. Join us, swolenormousx.com. We need to get you on proper nutrition because it sounds like you're on weight loss jabs and you're a diabetic and you had a heart attack. this is not about a macro. This is not macros. This is all lifestyle habits, what you're exposed to. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit that's going on, and the nutrition, you need a complete clean sweep, in my opinion, from looking at all this. Join us, swolenormousx.com. All right, 2 more questions, unless there's live ones. Let's keep rolling. Oops. Rafifi, he knows the way. Rafifi, oestiti. Wistiti. As a teenager, what do you suggest I do to make gains? My parents aren't for the idea of hitting the gym. Oof. Well, then you're going to have to make your own money and lift weights or exercise at home. Your parents don't want you to go to the fucking gym, which means they have to pay for it, which means you're young, which means maybe they'll get you some weights. Maybe you can show them or help them understand why weight training is essential. They can get you a weight set, all right? You can get adjustable weights or on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. You could train at home. So if they don't want you going to a gym, you could train at home. I don't know why your parents would be against you lifting weights and exercising. That's awful. But as a teenager, you need to enjoy being a teenager. Plenty of time to lift, but lift at school. See if they can get you a weight at home set. I mean, you're under their roof, their rules, man. You know, it is what it is. You got to educate your parents. That would be important. All right. Leo Hellowell. I'll be the judge of that. Do you have to prioritize training triceps over biceps in order to get bigger arms? No, you should prioritize. This is what I don't like. You can only prioritize certain body parts just objectively in a given workout. Something's got to go first and second. Something's got to go last and second to last. It just is what it is. This is why making sure that you're not doing 50 fucking sets. So by the time you get to the end of your workout, everything is just numb and you're not getting any value. So you want to make sure you're lifting heavy, warming up, prepping, but doing your heaviest sets first. That way you are getting the proper stimulus. You don't have to prioritize triceps over biceps. You shouldn't prioritize anything over anything until you have like noticeable imbalances. You just need to train them hard. So you need to train your triceps hard and you need to train your biceps hard. Bigger arms, that means shoulders, that means biceps, that means triceps. There you go. You don't have to prioritize it. The problem with training online and social media and stuff like that is you have these fucking twinks online that don't have any muscle on their body and they're prioritizing doing fancy shit. So you don't need to do isolation. When I say isolation, I don't mean like bicep curls and triceps, but you don't need to like isolate the brachioradialis when you don't have any fucking arms. Like, stop trying to target your upper chest when you are like 140 pounds soaking wet. If you don't have any muscle, just fucking press. Get big, get strong pressing, get strong rowing, get strong overhead pressing, get strong squatting, get strong with a hip hinge, get strong with a leg curl, get strong with an extension. Get strong. You don't have any muscle. Again, you're trying to cut down or shape. Hey, I'm trying to build this area. Yeah, you should be building every fucking area on your body. I'm trying to get a little bit of more of a shoulder cap. You're 150 pounds. Get huge. Get everything huge. Seriously, try to get everything big. You need to try to get everything big. You don't have any muscle to cut to. You don't have any. All right. All right, let's move on. Balls deep. Let's see what we got.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Build the foundation, indeed. Build the foundation. All right. Short one first. This one's called Fake Feminism.
If your feminism does not also extend to trans women, I hate to break it to you, but you are not practicing feminism. You are still practicing misogyny, and you are under the rule of a colonial mindset when it comes to what makes a woman, and you are just masking it as saying that you are all for girl power. Trans women are part of the conversation when talking about feminism 100% of the time.
It's not. These are dudes with a mental disorder. This is why women are the worst thing for women. women hate themselves so much that they invite mentally deranged men into their in-group. I guess if you can call it that, I suppose. I mean, that's what it is, a cult. And pretending like they're just as important. No, they are mentally insane men. Fucking weirdos. You're a weirdo. You women are fucking insane.
Trans women experience all of the things that we experience times 10. If you are
No, you can't fake a mental disorder. I mean, not faking it. You can't, oh, you suffer from all that. Yeah. Okay.
not for all women, specifically trans women, you cannot call yourself a feminist.
So you can't be a feminist unless you want men. Who wants to be a feminist? Who wants to be a fucking Marxist communist retard? Okay. Feminism can't die fast enough. Actually, we do have some, we'll do another video, and we do have merch madness updates. We do have it, so we'll do it today. All right. We do have merch madness. Let's do one more. More debating. More debating.
What's in the box?
Master. You have to master debate. You have to master debating. We need more debating. We need more masters of debating. Master debater.
Thin people are statistically more
but-
likely to die from being underweight than someone is from being overweight.
Oh my God. Okay.
There's like so many things, like health things that I discovered that are non-related to fat, but we try to just lose a little weight. The BMI scale, if you don't already know, is set up
Hasn't said anything yet, by the way. I don't even know what the fuck the point of this video
to be
is.
fat phobic and racist.
I think the denial is bizarre. I sat here and I hear like 4 women who are medically obese tell doctors who are scientists and they study arteries, they study organs, and you're being defiant to a doctor, a scientist.
I know.
Whatever condition you have is going to be exacerbated by the bigger body, right?
It's not a bigger body. You have excessive amounts of visceral fat. You have excessive body fat, which does trigger your body to send out hormones, and it compounds fucking you up. So this is objectively true. It's objectively true. All-cause mortality through the roof. There's no argument. There's literally no argument. This is the same thing about arguing about trans people and there's more than one gender. It's a fugazi. It's a fugazi. It's nonsense. This is bullshit. All of this is bullshit. Everything gets bad. Everything gets worse, is made worse by you being obese. Everything. Literally everything. It's just the fucking confidence from obese women is just disgusting. Yes, queen, girl. No, you're fat and you're gross and your personality sucks. So eat more cake. Good luck in the next 5-10 years.
No, it is. Like
Every condition?
that's
not true.
How is it not true? Your doctor will tell you that
But
it
thin people
exasperates your...
fall over dead after a marathon all the
Absolutely.
The same people that fall over dead after a marathon? You mean extreme dehydration and stress from training yourself to the limit? Let's not compare a fat, obese person to someone who's competing at the highest level for running a marathon. Let's not compare you eating yourself into a fucking couch cushion versus someone who's pushing their body to their physical limit. Okay? All right. So, the poor chairs. All right, fam, we do have, oh my God, merch madness. We are down to the great 8, the elite 8, as it were. Oh my goodness. It's down to the wire. This is going to be a tough one. Oh man, my bracket is still going strong. It is going to be tough. Who is going to be victorious? Who's ready for some merch madness? Who's ready for some results? We got some new ones in. We're down. We're down. I'm going to bring it up on screen and we're going to zoom in. All right. Here it is, fam. We are in the Western Conference. We had Go to the Fucking Gym taking out Swole season, Swole Signal. Then we had Go to the Fucking Gym knocking out Optimus Pump and, goodness gracious, Super Swole Bros. So Super Swole Bros versus Go to the Fucking Gym in the Elite Eight. All right. So Super Swole Bros beat out Pumpachu. Interesting. Interesting. Whose winner is still in the mix? Whose winner is still in the mix? Oh, goodness. All right. We also have, and remember, these are in Facebook stories, Instagram stories. This is just this is just luck of the draw. You don't have to like it. That's irrelevant. This is just where the cookie has crumbled, where the steak has seared. We also have Back to the Fucking Gym taking out Muscle Alphabet, and Ozempic has put to rest the Dora Vamos al Puto Gimnasio. Oh, goodness. All right. So we have Go to the Fucking Gym, the classic, versus Super Swole Bros. And Back to the Fucking Gym versus Ozempic. That's a tough one. Tough one. Okay. Let's take it over to the Eastern Conference. What do we got? Jack Sparrow knocking off Let It Grow. Jack Sparrow versus Deadlift. And we have Gaindolf taking out Harry Squatter. And Gaindolf versus Vale Puto Gimnasio. Ooh, baby doll.
Wow.
Jack Sparrow took out Deadlift. I agree. I actually didn't have Jack Sparrow going on. I think I had Swollen beating Jack Sparrow. I personally like Jack Sparrow better. I just thought people were going to go for Swollen. So look at that. Look at that. It happens. So Jack Sparrow versus Gaindolf. Now with this matchup, I think Jack Sparrow is going to take out Gaindolf just because it's color. Because Gaindolf, that's a throwback design. All right. If you can't figure out how to play a bracket, you're retarded. The Telegram chat. You can't lose if you couldn't figure out how to play. You fucking. You can't write? You can't write? How'd you find your way into the Telegram chat? All right. We got one more. Forest Pump versus Circle of Lift. And we have Depth Vader versus the GTTFG Cybertruck hat. Last one. Last one. It is Forest Pump. This is a tough one. Versus Depth
First, take
Vader.
a step back and literally fuck your own face.
Everyone's like, fuck your own face. My bracket is toast, fam. We're almost down to the final four. So, in the final 8, we have Go to the Fucking Gym, Super Swole Bros, Gaindolf, Jack Sparrow, Depth Vader, Forest Pump, Ozempic, and Back to the Fucking Gym. This is madness. Madness. This is March Madness. That's a tough one. All right. So, I could feel it already. I could feel it next year. I feel us going 64. We're going to do like tons. But it's hard. This is tough. And this is just with these matchups. There are other designs that weren't necessarily top sellers that could have knocked some of these off. So we're going to have to include more next year. We're going to have to do some suggestions, right? We'll have to do some votes, right? We'll have to vote some in maybe inside the fam just because we have so much merch. So who's still alive? Who still has their selections in the game? Who still has their selections? Let's see. Let me find my bracket. Let me see what we got here. Let's see. Let me just bring up my bracket for a second. Oh, so I'm still alive. I had Let It Grow going all the way at the top. So let's see. For me, I predicted these correctly on the left side. I have Go to the Fucking Gym and Super Swole Bros, and I have Ozempic and Back to the Fucking Gym. But I had Let It Grow beating out Gaindolf. So I had Back to the fucking Gym and Depth Vader in the finals. So I'm still alive. I'm still alive. I'm still alive. I still got 3 out of 4. So far. No, I don't. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I didn't have Gandalf or Jack Sparrow, so that area is toast for me. Still alive? Pam's still alive? Papa and Pam? I think Pedro has Go to the fucking Gym in the finals and going all the way, so there's a couple. Katie's still alive. She has Forrest Pump going all the way. I gotta check the app, but we still got a few people that are still holding on. And don't forget, next year or next time we do this, it's also going to be, it'll be more shirts or different shirts and also different matchups. So one that gets knocked out early this time might make it next time. And who knows? Who knows? Oof. Interesting. And some of them were close. So let's see. We have, there are a couple close ones. So Jack Sparrow, you ready for this? Jack Sparrow apparently beat out Deadlift by 1 vote. 1 vote. Forrest Pump beat out Circle of Lift by 2 votes. So we had some tight shit. We had some tight, like a toiga. All right, let's give away today's Swole card. So Merch Madness. And by the way, so we have tomorrow and Saturday. Tomorrow we'll probably have results tomorrow. Maybe by tomorrow we'll have for the next Final Four. And then we'll probably run the final over the weekend on Saturday, I think. And then on Monday during the accountability meeting, we'll announce the winners. We'll announce the winners and who got the most correct. And of course, getting the most correct means like you get a few in like the finals and then, good stuff. Good stuff. So appreciate everyone that played. Fun. A little gambling. But, you're not putting anything down. You're just part of the Swole fam having some fun. So nothing to lose, everything to gain. Elizabeth says maybe step-by-step instructions for the bracket using crayons. If Cerny can figure it out, then you can figure it out. Cerny figuring out technology. If Cerny can do it, you can do it. So see, that's what we should have. That's the advertising. Merch Madness. So easy, Cerny can do it. And everyone's like, I'm in. I got this. Cerny's like, yep, it's true. Cerny's over there with like her abacus and her like water divination, right? She's out there with like her little water stick. She has like the pendulum. She's just like, what's it called? She's swinging the little pendulum like, divining. It's here. It's Forrest Pump in the finals. She's out there like burning leaves and adding them to a stew. And it reminds me of Robin Hood Men in Tights. Eyes of a newt, testicles of a newt. She's boiling a potion to raise the spirits to choose. I'm used to wrestling brackets. Are they different? It works. The sundial. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Swole card time. It is Swole AF. It's time to get Swole AF. There's Pinkston Churchill. Let's give this card away. Are you watching me? She's like, damn. All right, we got a winner today. It is, that's fantastic. Today we got Sterling, the winner. Swole S. All right, Basosaurus. Good for you, Sterling. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 3605 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. Congratulations. Congratulations. Felicidades. Felicidades. Very nice. We have Rufus, the Tainty Man. Good boy. Good boy. Look at that. Look at that jump. Look at this jump, please. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that meat. Look at all that meat. Don't you want to chew it? Look, right there. So much meat. He's got so much. He's a good boy. He's a good poppers. Aww. Scratchies. Oh, there she is. Hi, Pinks. Aww. Good girl. There she is. There she is. There she is. All right. Oh, the poppers. Just leave them on screen when we're just chilling at the end. All right, let's do a throwback. Let's see what we got here. TBT time. Here we go. Merch Madness. What a chaotic experience. Certain ones just got wiped out.
Here's a public service
Jesus
announcement.
Christ. I was not ready for that.
Did you know?
You know what's funny? I just jumped again. I love these videos because it made me jump the first time and I jump again. Jesus fuck.
Here's a public service
Jesus
announcement.
Christ. I was not ready for that.
Did you know there's actually nothing wrong with being fat?
Yes, there is.
Ugh.
Just because a person is fat does not mean they are lazy, unhealthy, binge eat, or have unresolved trauma.
Pretty much all the above or some combination.
Maybe some people in larger bodies do experience these things, but thin people do to the same extent.
Well, you're contradicting yourself.
Sure, a person in a fat body might have a complicated relationship with food and their...
A complicated relationship with food. Yeah, like putting way too much of it in their face hole at the same time. That's pretty complicated. I'm so tired of like the better relationship with food. No, you eat the food. You don't need a relationship. You're not taking it out on dates. When we communicate, when the steak and I have a good relationship, everything is fine. No, stop being a pussy. Eat food because it's good for you. Stop eating garbage. Reset your life. Start paying attention to what you're consuming. Everything that we talk about here every day, it really does matter. And I think that's what really helps too, is I'm not just saying things that are just nonsense. I've done them myself. Swole fan members do them every single day. It's legit. If you actually pay attention, and just the fact that I have to sit here, not that I have to, I enjoy doing this, but every day, I'm always telling people, go to the fucking gym, eat a fucking steak. It's really that simple, but no one wants it to be that simple. No one wants it to be that simple. And yes, there's other things, but that's like the first step in the door. And the fact that most people don't realize that they actually have control over their life. They actually can make choices that are better choices, that are good for their body. And I think it's really just because most people don't know how to feel good, because most people have never felt good, because most people have been eating crap their whole lives and they don't exercise. They don't get sun and they are under 6 feet of snow 6 months out of the year. It's tough. It's tough. But really trying to help people understand that you can feel better. You can feel better on the day to day. You can actually do this and you can start today. All these choices that you make thousands of choices every day. You just got to start shifting and guiding those choices in a different direction. If you have $20, cool. That $20 can be done and can be executed with better choices. Not like a $15 DoorDash with a $5 tip and you're eating sludge. We're talking about, and it's not that cheap anyway, but we're talking about buying better food, prepping it, making your food, and just starting with the basics. Start with the basics. You can't get grass-fed beef, we'll just get beef. Get ground beef. You don't have to eat a ribeye filet mignon and spend $50 a pound. I'm not asking you to get like a tomahawk steak. I'm just start eating real food. Steak, meat, eggs, fish, chicken, like all of it. Fine. The grass-fed and the finished, like yes, it all matters, but maybe it doesn't matter enough to you because you're not at a place in your life where you can, I don't want to say splurge, but prioritize those higher echelons. It should just be the standard, but that's another rant altogether. But you're making better choices with what you have. And if you make better choices, it opens you up to leveling up. So if you're taking a staircase and you're trying to take the first step to the next step, okay? You're trying to take the first step to the third step. That's a big step. Sometimes you have to like kind of hop a little bit. If you're 5 feet tall, you ain't doing that at all. First step to the fourth step. First step to the fifth step. You're not making it from the first step to the 10th step. You're not flying up the stairs. So maybe if you're running full out, how long can you do that for? You're taking steps 2, 3, 4 at a time. But really, you just need to get to that next step so you can get to the next step. If you just do one at a time, hey, I got to the first step. Cool. If you're on that first step, it makes it much easier to get to the second step. If you're on second step, it's much easier to get to the third step. It's one more step. Wouldn't you say it's better to just do one at a time and make that progress than try to be on the first step and jump to the fifth all the time or jump to the 10th? So good analogy, but you're in control. You're in control. The reason why I'm still doing this and it's 10 years and everyone here is crushing it and everyone's crushing in their own ways, but it's just really the understanding and the taking the responsibility that you have your choices to make, and you can make better ones. You can be consistent with that, and you can actually make a massive difference in your life, and then take that next step, take that next step, take that next step. You want to take that first step or the next step, wherever you are on your staircase. Join us, swolenormousx.com. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll maybe have some more updates if we have them in time, and then we'll have more over the weekend. Swolosophy. We have releases on Monday. We'll have the conclusion of March Madness. We'll have the winners and lots of other stuff coming. So thanks for being here. Join us, swolenormousx.com. Peace McGeese, Deuce Magoose, ya boy, Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they can't left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies, you children popping.